Is this the first time you've put a camera on a tripod before?
No. Shooting with a photo buddy can be really rewarding.
Do you need the toilet or do you always stand like that?
After all, their encouragement, wit and repartee can make a long wait for the light just that little bit better. This is Ben Harvey, one of my photo buddies. He's irritatingly brilliant at virtually everything he touches, and he has a great YouTube channel. Now, often Ben will invite me out on last-minute photo trips, but this one was something we've been planning for a long time. Having survived 2.5 hours of my driving, we arrived in Essex at the Osea Leisure Park in order to shoot the famous stilted beach huts at high tide. Now, this trip had taken several months to plan, and it was my responsibility for it to go right.
Welcome to Osea. The man coming towards me in the background is my mate Ben, who has suddenly turned into Ben Harvey Photography. Ultra professional, leaves his camera in random places.
The first benefit of having a photo buddy is that you can spread the load. That might be in driving or planning, it doesn't matter.
Look at this professional. It's great to see somebody at work that knows what he's doing. This is what we do. We walk towards a camera for some lovely B-roll.
Now, I'd been to this location before and I hadn't quite got those tides right. They didn't cover the weed that was on the bank and it just didn't quite work. Now, this time I researched very carefully. I wanted to make sure that I could get some juicy long exposures and ideally turn up early enough so that I could have some lunch and some time just to ponder.
Ben, this is properly good.
We're finally here. I mean, it's been at least a few years since I wanted to come back.
Now, my gut says I want to get in the water because what I want to do is take a classic shot that everybody takes along the beautiful coloured beach huts. However, I think there might be a shot up here as well, but it might be too high. Let me show you what I'm looking at right now. So that is sort of what I'm looking for. I think I possibly need to be down here. So I am going to do what Ben's doing. It's a shame it's a little bit sunny. I'd like a little bit more mood, but we've got some moody skies coming in there now, which we didn't have earlier. And just if you do come here, just to let you know, there's a cafe about 150 metres away from where we are. Right, my number one shot today is long exposures with all of these beach huts in them, probably from that end, although it's getting very deep, so I might have to go from that end. Number two is I'd like to get a shot of 3, but I'm going to have to get my wide angle lens on and possibly do something like a 3x1 kind of crop on it or similar. And another one is I want to get isolated long exposures of just one of these beach huts.
Are you intending on shooting all of them?
I am, but you can do it so that actually they sort of blend into each other. So Ben has kindly donated his body to Louise Wellcome's Science. He's going to go and try how deep the water is with his Wellington boots on. My prediction is it's too deep for where we want to stand. All right, this is our setup with the professional Ben Harvey Photography, taking the lead in the distance there. It's got a nice bit of mood going on it, this water at the moment, and I think that's going to add to the shot. We actually got the tides right. So we're both starting off with a nice fat 10 stop, which at the moment is bringing me up at F11 at 20 seconds. I'd like to go a little longer, to be honest with you, so I might double it with a 6 stop.
Now, this is a classic shot. Many people will do it, but quite often they remove the horizon in the background. I wanted to keep it to anchor it, just be a little bit different.
This is a 5.3 metre tide and it's about 3 o'clock-ish in the afternoon, and I have to say we're very, very pleased for the cloud cover right now. Right, so I'm moving along these huts and what I'm looking for is something that's going to be a nice trilogy. Is that the right word? A nice trio. And I'm looking, obviously we've got sort of various colour gradients here. I'm just looking to see, I've got to put my 16 to 35 lens on and then I can start taking some long exposure shots with 3s in. Odd numbers are far more aesthetically pleasing than even numbers. That's true, right. That's what I'm sort of getting at the moment. Goodness knows if that's got bright enough. But I'm bang in the middle of this beach hut here and I'm going for the blue one on the left and the green one on the right. The problem is I've had to go so wide that I'm actually clipping the balcony to the right of that. So I'm going to have to clone that out, but we'll work that out when we get home. But it's looking quite juicy. Well, we've just been told by a couple of locals that 2 weeks ago the tide was so high that it was up sort of over the top of the steps there, which it just seems incredible, but they were strong tides. So what we're doing now is just capturing 2 or 3 sort of shots of this particular area. I've gone for an ultra long one. I put my 10 stop and my 6 stop on, and it's taking about 2.5 minutes, and probably not going to be worth it, to be honest with you.
Now it was, but every single shot bar one had 4 big blobs in front of it. But the one that I did get, I'm so pleased. Now benefit 3 is to share your kit. Ben had forgotten his wide angle lens. You're welcome, Ben.
Well, this was actually one of the calmest shoots I think that I have ever done, and in part it's because we weren't waiting for any specific weather. We weren't waiting for a sunrise. It just, the tide came up, the tide went out, and we did our thing. I just think the colours of these are just so beautiful. Just muted, they go in with the lovely weather that we've got here. When I say lovely, it's muted weather. It completely suits this location.
A few minutes before we left, I decided to go to the shore and shoot what turned out to be one of my favourite locations. When I processed this shot, I decided to desaturate the blues and give it a more dramatic mono feel. One of the best things about having a photo buddy is that you can learn from each other. Whether that's about techniques or thought processes behind shots, it doesn't matter. Ben teaches me geek, and I teach him about birds and trees.
Oh, hot dog. Well, it's a 2.5 hour journey from Worthing to here. We've got 2.5 hours to go back, which is probably one of the longest journeys I've had to take a photograph. But do you know what? I'm really pleased. I think I've got a couple of crackers. They're no different to anything anyone else takes, but they're mine, and that's what counts. So thank you for joining me today at Osea in Essex. If you discern any value in this, I'd love it if you could give me a like or subscribe so you can just show a little bit of support to the channel. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, joke's on you because I'm wearing wellies and waterproof trousers. What can go wrong? Nothing. Nothing can go wrong.